Yo, what's going on guys, it is Foxy98 here. Welcome to the start of a brand new series here on the channel. It is called the F1 Debate. Now, I actually did this series, started off in 2018 with the Russian Grand Prix, I believe it was, but it never actually transpired to anything further with it. So the F1 Debate is quite simple. We're going to be debating about Formula 1 in real life. We have just had the Austrian Grand Prix, and Jesus Christ, what a Grand Prix it was. It was absolutely amazing, and it was, yeah, a hell of a lot of fun. To see that Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Austrian Grand Prix as well. Let me know what you thought of it as well. But before we get into this, I am going to be going into my Discord now and chatting with a couple of you guys about the race itself. So, if you guys ever want to get involved, here is the Discord right now on the screen right here. If you want to join it, okay, we were having a bit of fun here. Leave that alone, okay? But we've got all these amazing chats in here, and we've also got this one here in which we've got some peeps ready to chat about it. But, yeah, so hopefully you are interested, and yeah, we're going to be talking about all of the stuff. And now back to my face again. Hi. So let's get straight into it.
Sweet though.
Tom97 said
Lads,
I might
next
get
week,
some flack
I
for
don't
this.
know.
Lads, I'm in.
Yeah, Tom97 said I might get some flack for this, but I thought Lewis was lucky to get 5 seconds.
Oh, Lewis was lucky to get 5 seconds. He took out one out of it.
Lucky in terms of what? Lucky that it was only 5 seconds, or lucky that it was more?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lucky that
basically
it wasn't
5
more.
seconds. Because you don't know what the FIA. You could take someone
The
out and get 2
FAA,
seconds, or FAA, the fucking arsehole association. So
Potentially.
like, there's a lot of people in the Discord bringing up Canada and like other stuff. It's not related to it as such, but if you
No.
look at the regulations, like Verstappen, he could have got a penalty last year.
For
But he didn't, because
which race
Leclerc
were you on
didn't suffer as
about?
bad.
Which race were you on about last year? Verstappen getting a penalty for? Because I was a bit confused on that.
Austria.
Yeah, but then
It was-
Paul di Resta put it perfectly. You know, the Albon spin was the outcome of the penalty. With Verstappen and Leclerc, they just made a bit of contact and Leclerc went off. It's the same with this race now today with Perez and Norris. They both made contact into that corner. I know, obviously, I get it. Verstappen, you know, ran Leclerc wide in 2019, but it's the same thing. Like, it's wheel-to-wheel contact, and Verstappen and Leclerc had wheel-to-wheel contact then in Silverstone, and nothing was ever noted of it. It was only obviously because they first brought it to their attention that it was that. So I don't think that's really relevant.
I think the thing is, like, Hamilton was behind Albon. Albon was a good quarter of a car, maybe even a third of the car length ahead of him. And
Yeah.
Hamilton, the thing that I saw, like, he was coasting pretty much. He was either about 10% of the power or coasting. If he gave it a little bit more power, because of how the cars work, you know, cards, Formula cars, whatever.
Yeah.
If he gave it a bit more throttle, he could have been perfect. There would have been no contact. Well, maybe a little bit of contact, but nothing as severe as what the outcome was. Everybody would have gone on the way.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you haven't watched the Grand Prix, spoilers, Bottas won the Grand Prix ahead of Leclerc and Lando Norris.
God.
Big up Norris. Sorry, man. I know you. I know you.
from Bottas, to be honest.
I know that. But I mean, I think we can all say that was like what, like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 race.
That has to be the best race of the turbo hybrid era.
And you
Almost.
forget in Germany.
I'm remembering Germany now, but you don't know how tense that was from start to finish.
Yeah, but I think the fact that we were held without F1 for so long gave us...
Makes it better.
It just
Yeah.
gave us
Yeah.
that thrill back. Yeah, I know what you mean. But if you look at everything that happened, there's 9 retirements, 3 different teams on the podium. Ferrari were a perfect midfield team,
2
yet they managed to claw back
unexpected,
second. 2 unexpected podiums. Like, Leclerc came from 7th to 2nd, which was brilliant. Hamilton and Albon made another bit of contact. Like, it's almost like Massa and Hamilton in 2011, where they're just going to have a run of contact. Not quite, but you know where I'm getting to.
Yeah, I know what you
It
mean.
just seems to be a recurring joke at this stage. Third time lucky. But, you know, maybe third time lucky, Hamilton will get out of it for Albon. But, you know, it was definitely something we needed, and it was a brilliant race. And I think that Albon could have had the win, or Verstappen could have had the win, because they definitely had a good bit of pace.
I don't think Max would have.
I think
Max,
Albon-
I don't know, Max looked pretty racy now.
But if you look about it,
Safety cars, yeah.
they said that the soft tyres on the formation lap would do 18 laps and they would pit. Everyone pitted on lap 30 for those soft tyres.
Yeah.
So they could have easily gone
Ferrari
on to
could have
probably
thrown that.
mediums.
Ferrari could have thrown that away very easily, because they were going to pit Leclerc quite early. And then they were like, no,
Yeah.
actually, no, stay out.
Yeah, they were.
But I think that was kind of turn of
Mistake
fortune.
Haas made.
I think they were trying to force other people into stops, to be honest, more than anything else. 'Cause
yeah.
it was too early.
Half went on the front brake.
Because I
I
think what
think
was
they're trying to force in. Racing Point into it.
I think Perez was close by, and Sainz was only 1.8 behind Leclerc during that, so he could have easily just stopped and tried to get the undercut, and then it would have forced that undercut train, but it didn't happen, so they just left it.
I think we'll leave Perez for the moment and just keep going on as the race went on. Because then Perez was up to 4th at the time, and then you had Albon in 3rd, and Albon was looking very comfortable on hards. Like, you know, he's looking comfortable for a podium.
Yeah.
He looks out.
Perez started catching him. Then there was another safety car, and then Albon was on softs, and then everything was about to go. Like, everything was about to go down to the wire. Albon, you know, could have been up for the win, even, you know, easy podium.
Yeah. I think if you were saying then, starting from the start, so obviously Bottas got away fine. Norris got a slightly better start than Verstappen.
It was all quite an even start.
It was.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't think the grid penalty really affected Hamilton.
No, it didn't.
No,
Didn't really.
I said
He
that.
was just so quick compared
Yeah,
to
it
last
shows the
time,
pace of the Mercedes, but also shows how fast Hamilton is. It gave
Yeah.
Bottas a good bit of breathing space to start looking after the car.
Yeah.
But
Which I think was what he was doing in the first bit.
gap?
It was about.
It was an
Start-
8-second gap, and
yeah.
Hamilton brought it down to about
Hamilton got
5.
three.
He brought it down to 3.3.
What, 5 seconds, 3 seconds?
3.3 it was.
I
before the
did
safety car
Bottas was
came out.
pushing
Yeah.
it all. Hamilton was definitely trying to make amends for that, for, you know, being behind Verstappen and all
Penalty,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like Bottas was definitely trying to look after his car there. He had a better car at the end, I think.
Bottas needed that when the first safety car came out because it was kind of a bit of a dead start. I'm not gonna lie, until the pit stops came into
The
play.
first bit of the
Yeah.
race was fairly boring.
Nothing really happened until Verstappen retired.
Yeah, until Max and Ricciardo retired. I mean, from then on in, I instantly tweeted out saying that what could have been, you know, for this race, it's ruined it because Max is out and he was the only one that could really do something about it. But
Challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously, in the end, it didn't make a difference. But it reminds me of...
we were wrong.
It reminds me of Brazil, actually, this race in a way from last year. First part of the race was dead, then a safety car came out and everything just went ballistic.
But the thing was, with Brazil, there was about 15 laps to go, and then the safety car came out. This was we had to wait about 10 laps, but again, in our heads, we were just like, okay, how's this strategy going to play out? Norris and Perez are fighting. Because all the midfield was going on as well. Vettel had spun trying to get past Sainz because he locked his rears,
We'll get on to
and
that.
Leclerc was making places. Like, I think that's the thing that kept us entertained for the first bit of the race.
Yeah. What was interesting is, I know, obviously we'll moving on to it later, but Ferrari's race pace, it actually wasn't that good. Like they couldn't keep.
It's better than their qualifying.
They couldn't keep up with McLaren or Racing Point.
No.
At the end, they seemed pretty comfortable.
At the end, yeah.
But
I mean,
I think Norris should have gone soft.
they were more comfortable with the hard tyres, but on the soft tyres before all the safety cars came out, Leclerc was getting dropped by Norris and Perez, and Vettel was getting pressurised by Ricciardo until he had a problem, and obviously Stroll had a problem as well. But what was fascinating was that... I'm sorry, Ewan. What was fascinating was, even with engine issues, Stroll was still able to keep behind Vettel with DRS and slipstream.
Until it got
severe.
The
What I
team
think
with
happened
Ferrari...
there.
Okay.
Go on, Don.
No, go ahead. Go on.
What I think was happening there was Stroll's issues weren't too bad to start off with, but it was just as he was getting longer and longer into the race, they started getting really bad. That's how it cruised past him so bad, so quick. Because he dropped as soon as Leclerc overtook him. He dropped.
Yeah,
Probably.
but the problem with Ferrari was just the straights, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
Corners, they were fine. Second sector, they were fine. But
I
it was
think
it
they were
was
quickest
just.
in the second sector for most of the weekend.
But you saw the new graphics coming up, like high speed and whatnot. Vettel was 19th in the straights.
19th. Then in the low speed corners, there was 6th.
And I don't need to bring up like last year with the whole quote unquote cheating allegation, but like it seems like it has done a knock. FIA must have restricted the engines a bit.
Yeah, I actually think so. To an extent.
But they have a lot of drag as well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of drag in there, but it's just quite interesting to see how far off the pace Ferrari genuinely were with their straight line speed compared to others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like fair play to Leclerc, he brought it up the field.
Yeah. And that kind
I think it shows
Leclerc
Vettel. Like, what happened to Vettel now? His head
Vettel
just
got
completely
up the
went.
field, but then he just made a mistake, as classic Vettel does, apparently.
What it
It
does...
was hardly a surprise he got back into the points.
I think it was.
Well,
I think it was the fact that when he went deep, when Sainz went deep into the corner, Vettel was like, "Oh, there's enough room here," and then he kind of realised there wasn't, and locked the rears and spun.
That's because, wasn't it? Sainz was going for a move on Leclerc, wasn't he, around the outside, and then Seb thought, "Hang on, I can sneak it up the inside and then go for it."
It's kind of what happened to him back in 2018 in China with Verstappen.
Yeah.
Except those two made contact.
Heavy contact.
I love it. Yeah, Max was sort of like, "I reckon I can go for this down the inside," and just got it wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
But what I was about to say is, I actually think that this race showed a lot more promise for Charles Leclerc, because he's now got a worse Ferrari car and he's able to drag it up, albeit with a bit of mayhem. But if he wasn't in that position, he wouldn't have been where he was. He made himself in that position to take second place.
By the way, this is the argument I use for Stroll every time.
Here we go.
And it gets shut down.
There you go. Go on. Nope.
But it was, but it's the same thing though. Azerbaijan 2017, it was an absolute chaotic race, and Stroll put himself in that position by being faultless. It was the same thing.
It was one of the very
few. With Leclerc.
If he was still in that race, he had a good chance of a podium.
Yeah.
McLaren's looked pretty planted.
Yeah, but him and the team normally make great strategy calls. Perez, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Germany.
Their call to mediums was all right, but then when the next safety car came
they
out,
they should have pit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Albon, they should have pit.
They should have pit McLaren for soft, because mediums were way too hard for that. And then Kimi lost his wheel as well.
Yeah, that was quite dangerous, actually.
That was
the safety car came in. I seen Kimi drop one place, and I was like, "Yeah, something's wrong with Kimi."
Yeah, something's wrong with Kimi. Yeah.
I was just surprised that his wheel didn't come off straight away.
I
thought Vettel was taking a risk trying to get past the wheel, because it could have slammed into the side.
It could have easily gone into the back of him.
No, let's talk about Russell for a second. He would have got points.
He would have got a point.
Can we just pray for Latifi as well? Latifi was one place, the last running car outside the points.
That's quite annoying when you realise that you are the last person to finish and you're the only person not to get a point.
Without a point.
Out of anyone.
Yeah, to be fair, he has a better finishing position, or I think he's equal finishing position with Russell. But, I mean, look at the cost. You got 9 cars out, and he's the last car on the road.
I was going to say, albeit, I think Russell is overall stronger and has had stronger weekends.
Yeah.
Like with Kubica and with... I wouldn't say Kubica necessarily, because Russell made a mistake and lost the position to Kubica, but it's only been from those manic and chaotic races.
Did you see the team radio that came out there? Was it back when Germany happened? Russell was in the points, but he was forced to give up a position after somebody made a mistake on their safety car. The FIA didn't tell him to. His engineer was telling him to, but Russell kind of knew that he didn't have to. But because the team wouldn't constantly stop saying it, he gave back up the place.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
I don't remember where I found that, but I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Jesus.
Why are they trying to keep Russell there? They're going to make him a second fiddle or fuck him over.
I don't know, actually. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I think they were more scared of the fact for a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fair.
But he would have gotten away.
It would have been a penalty for a Williams car, and was there anyone behind the Williams cars anyway in that race?
Nah. When is there ever somebody?
I think usually when Hamilton gets a penalty, it's an exciting race. Seems to be.
Yeah.
Can you disagree?
I actually can't.
You can't disagree.
No.
Okay, he finished off the podium. He got a 5-second penalty. That was one of the best races I've ever watched. What happened in Germany? He also got a 5-second penalty. And what happened? That was one of the greatest races we've ever watched. Brazil! Do I need any more examples here, lads?
Silverstone 2019 didn't get a penalty, and that was bloody exciting. Same with the Hungaroring. That was exciting to see him chase him down.
Silverstone would be more exciting if Bottas and Hamilton had
exciting for a different reason.
Yeah, Silverstone was exciting for wheel-to-wheel racing. This one was exciting because it had everything.
Silverstone, Bottas had a bad strategy. Simple as. They put him for a 2-stop.
I don't believe that.
Over. Why not?
I think that Hamilton always said that he was always doing a 1-stop. He had better tyre wear. He had way more pace than Valtteri did. And as soon as Valtteri pitted, Lewis was in front nonetheless anyway, and he set fastest lap on the last lap on 32-lap-old hards. He had so much more pace and was so much better on his tyres. I don't
could have had that.
I don't think Lewis would have been troubled in that race, but we're not going to go on to that race. It's not that race.
You know, it shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know. Like, it's always nice to think it could have happened, but you know. Prick.
Yeah.
Well, we're going back to this race. Back to this.
Yeah, back to Austria 2020, not Silverstone 2019.
I'll keep the anger behind for now.
So we've covered obviously the Seb incident, which left him spinning around and becoming Spinala once again. Well done to you on that.
I swear to God, I will buy a ticket to London, to wherever you live in England, and fight you.
Wait,
oh, this geezer.
I know what I want to see more of, that fight or the fight between the Mercedes. Woo!
Hamilton versus Albon in a boxing ring, or a me and Zombie.
Hamilton,
Albon has more rage.
Alonso.
But
why are we now talking about boxing matches?
I don't know.
Rosberg.
Hey, these topics can go a bit off topic at the same time. Do you feel
Hamilton's fucking built? I wouldn't fight him.
Do you feel sorry for?
Exactly.
Seen him walking up towards National Anthem, and we were in Xbox party. We were just like, Jesus, he's hench.
No, I just find like, man, Hamilton's fucking built. I need the white Putin music.
After
Just
Seb's
white
spin,
Hamilton,
did you
without
feel
music.
sorry? Do you feel sorry for Seb
Without the-
after his spin again?
No.
Because no one wants him.
It's
anymore.
his fault.
I was just seeing if there was
15.
any. I was just checking to see if anyone had sort of sympathy that he's,
The
he's not
fact
got
that he
a seat
dropped
for
to
next year.
15 shows how many cars were out at the time.
Yeah.
Like, there was a
It's just
lot of slip-ups.
It was his fault, but he did recover well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we agree that we didn't really think the drivers would be so rusty after FP1 and FP2?
No.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't think any of this would happen. Yeah, 2 cars were retired and then
nobody
Hamilton won.
crashed except for Latifi, which is understandable.
Yeah, he's a
So
rookie.
you wouldn't think they'd be this rusty.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's almost like Baku. We thought it'd be like Baku, where oh yeah, everything's gonna happen, and then nothing's gonna happen. But like we had a hell of a race, and I don't know what we can expect for next week though.
No,
Like,
we
is
don't.
everybody gonna solve their problems?
I'm excited to see Racing Point next week if they can
I'm
sort
excited
out the
to see a
issues they had
boxing
with
match.
Stroll car.
I'm interested to see how practice and quali is going to go because they've already done one race now. It's not like they have to slow down on their quali sims to not give everything away. We've already seen what laps they can do, a 1:02.9 for Merck and so forth for everybody else. And the same with race pace. They now, depends on obviously what the conditions are, but they know that they can do 30-odd laps on softs and they might be able to do soft
Depends on the
medium
conditions
instead.
though.
Yeah, that's what I said. You know, it depends on what the conditions are next week, but
Yeah.
they have already a very strong understanding of what they can do in a proper race, not just some little race simulation where they're on their own. You know, when they're actually fighting other drivers, etc. as well. So
I would be interested to see if there's going to be any engine problems next week, any engine penalties for like Verstappen,
there's-
Bottas, Hamilton, because there were a lot of issues for
Yeah.
Mercedes with the
If-
gearbox.
Mercedes
I don't know.
with the gearbox, though.
'Cause they could take 5 place penalty each.
depends
and if
because they were
Verstappen
saying
isn't
the
retiring,
sensors.
If Verstappen doesn't retire next week, he'll be all over the back of them, and he'll get past them no problem if they're in the same situation.
Yeah, I think
See,
I think their
they
learning
know
point.
to avoid the curbs this week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's their learning point, is that they know that being aggressive on those curbs is going to damage the sensors. It wasn't necessarily the gearbox that was broken, but if the sensors are saying, you know, something completely different and gearbox is knackered, you know, the sensor could cause, you know, electronic failures, which is what the problem
If that
was.
sensor went, I think the gearbox was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was gearbox when he said chassis default 2-1, because I went back to 2016 British Grand Prix when Rosberg had a problem and they yelled chassis default 0-1 and it got him a penalty for the radio comms. So I was like, that's gearbox problem straight away as soon as they said that.
Wait, he's allowed to give it to them now. Back then they weren't.
Remember,
Like,
yeah,
give it
there was the
2016 they
radio
were-
ban in 2016, so they couldn't actually tell the drivers
They
what
want
to
them
do, and
coaching
then
the
they
drivers.
uplifted it.
No, I think they changed that after Button in Hungary.
Yeah, they
because his
changed-
throttle was up to the floor.
Yeah, they changed that after like
And the
Spa,
qualifying.
but as soon as they said on the radio change to chassis default 2-1, I knew that they had a gearbox problem of some sort.
Yeah.
I was happy about that. I was like, gearbox problem, and then they were like, gearbox, and my dad was like, oh, nice one. I was like, yeah, I know my knowledge.
I am an engineer.
I know about Mercedes.
You're gonna be a game
but that's not
developer?
bad,
No, I'm
but
gonna make engineer. Engineer.
I've been
What
revising.
they did after YouTube. This man is a Mercedes engineer.
I just go into the Mercedes exam room and I just, have to revise all those different things. What does chassis default mean? Gearbox!
It's like the one thing going to a pub quiz. It's like, I know what the largest moon of Jupiter is. That question doesn't come up.
Chassis default. Oh wait, no, that's not Jupiter. Damn it.
We have my question. Really? I think the Ferraris look very good at the end on the low fuel with the harder tires.
Yeah, they looked really good with hers.
They were much stronger than on the soft tires. On the soft tires, there was not many people that were outright really strong, apart from, I would say, Lewis.
Mercedes.
Yeah,
Mercedes overall. I think Valtteri was strong, like, mentally. Lewis was trying to pile the pressure on him. He was trying different mind games to try and get him to crack, but like Valtteri was just
that penalty just seemed to get him going.
Yeah. I think I can see where you're coming from in terms of Valtteri's mentality, but I think, as they said, he got that little bit of a breathing space, whereas the safety car had come in, he was no longer being caught rapidly, he was on fresh tyres again, it was back to square one, it was back neutral. But I see where you're coming from in terms of his mentality, because, Lewis tried to pass him and he didn't, and obviously whatever sensor problems they had depends on how much, Lewis could have potentially fought. I don't think it made a difference, because the sensor problems didn't come into it until Lewis had at least 4 laps or so behind. But
yeah,
I think
Valtteri was nursing the car home at the end.
Yeah, he was.
He definitely was, because the gap dropped so significantly.
Yeah, it dropped like a second in the one lap. It was like 2 seconds, and all of a sudden it dropped to like half a second. That's what I said, why is Valtteri only half a second off? I thought they were going to let Lewis through and let Bottas maybe try and
5 seconds.
try and get the buffer, but they didn't.
The Bottas isn't going to let that happen. Let's be honest.
No, not this season.
Not necessarily, but they didn't have to leave. They didn't have to make him have an exact 5 seconds to let Lewis win. I'm saying, just to give Lewis the, think about the team in terms of living. Space, to give him the breathing space, because as you said in the Discord, Tong, it could have well been that if Lewis was in front of Valtteri, he may not have had the turbulent air and could have potentially pushed on and got that 5 second buffer. But we don't know, obviously.
Sure, we could say the same thing about Monaco last year if Verstappen got past Hamilton.
Yeah,
but we don't know.
We don't know that. I think Verstappen would have walked away with that. But moving on to Hamilton and Albon.
Oh god!
I'm just gonna walk away from this. I don't want to ruin the video.
Right, no.
Right, should I start because I'm wearing? Should I start because I'm wearing Mercedes
kids in the Discord.
One at a time, please.
Can I say because I'm wearing Red Bull attire?
I'm wearing Mercedes attire for this. Okay.
I'm just wearing a bunch of F1 cars and a t-shirt.
Right, go on, Zombie.
I'm wearing an F1 t-shirt.
Go on, Zombs. Oh, you want to say?
Go on, Christopher. Come on.
Oh, you were talking to me.
Yeah, I said go for it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I still 100% think Hamilton should have given it up mid-corner.
Yeah.
Like he realized he had to have known he was there.
100%. He was ahead of him. Of course he's going to know. He was defending.
Conversation before. 3 of us were having a conversation before. Ewan was saying that Hamilton didn't know he was there, and I was like, well, Hamilton's a 6-time world champion. He's been in the sport for like 13 years. He should have that race experience and knowledge to know that Albon is there. But he's raced around that track so many times. He should know that there is an overtaking mover on the outside.
He defended into turn 3 and he defended into turn 4, covering the inside line. I can't see how he would not have known he was there. He wouldn't move over to defend if he didn't know Albon was coming.
And Albon had the fresher tires as well.
I'm not sure if it was before. I think it was before. I'm not sure if it was Leclerc and Norris or if it was Vettel and Sainz.
It was Leclerc and Norris.
They were doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, just after
Lando backed out of it.
Yeah.
And if Lando didn't back out of it, they would have made contact like they did.
In tears
because
shed.
he did back out of it.
Do you think it had anything to do with Albon shoving Hamilton wide and Hamilton trying to do something similar? I kind of think so.
What do you mean by trying to shove him wide?
Remember on the first lap when Hamilton went round the outside into turn 4 and you saw him get pushed wide by Albon and he backed out of it on the outside?
I don't think that would have had an effect because that's the kind of thing that happens on lap 1.
If it did, it's a childish thing to keep hold of, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. He's 33, not dividing that by 10 and putting him 3 years of age. There are people in karting right now, like 4-year-olds, who would have more sense over that if Hamilton did do that type of thing.
Yeah, but
sure, it's one of those things that happens, I guess, the crashing.
But yeah, as I said, everyone, you can see I have a face cam on. I'm in Mercedes attire. There is I have literally a Mercedes, not on Discord. I have a Mercedes models and all the stuff over there. You can call me whatever you want, but it was a penalty for Lewis Hamilton. So
it was 100%
now judge me. It was the same. It's what
you were at the start were debating it. Because you were kind of like, oh, I don't know when Lewis got a penalty. Then we kind of went through it. You know, it's kind of the instant reaction, isn't it?
It was. Like, my instant reaction was quite negative in terms of him receiving the penalty. And then as soon as I watched all the replays and actually took in what happened, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
It depends on who you support. It depends on your initial reaction. Like, it gives you time to cool. Like Albon said, he had time to cool off before he approached Hamilton and went to talk to him. I think it's kind of the same for F1 fans. Before you blame someone, you have to cool down and realise what happened.
That's exactly what I did. I was just initially when it said, you know, Hamilton's got a penalty, I was like, are you kidding me? Because for me, I thought differently. And then all the replays came on, and I was like, actually, you know what? Now that I've gotten out of the thing of, oh no, Hamilton and, you know, stuff has made contact, I was like, yeah, that's a clear-cut penalty. He's made contact. He shouldn't, like you said, he had, as Christian Horner said, he had the grip with his soft tyres, and you're going to make those in the corners. He was on the outside, he was well ahead. Just back out of it. Like,
The thing with Hamilton is that he had the steering lock quite far, and people are saying, oh, he couldn't do much more. No, you can hear the engine is running quite low, and he is also not on the throttle.
He
the thing that brought
up
to the start is that you need to have some kind of He should have had some throttle to car rotated.
I was going to say, a bit of lag there.
I think that's the mistake he made.
What I think it was is when Hamilton was defending on the outside, at the start of the corner, Albon wasn't there. I think Hamilton wanted to push Albon wide, and that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
But then Albon had so much more pace around the corner because of his tyres that he was ahead. So Hamilton's initial idea was stuffed, and he couldn't do anything about it because he was going to force Albon wide, but Albon had so much more corner speed. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So, like, no matter which way you look at it now, it's Hamilton's fault.
Yeah.
Like, I said that instantly.
Hamilton, that's my view of it after I looked at it again.
It's simple. Look, it could have been that he was rusty. He didn't exactly know what he was doing. He forgot how to raise that side. I mean, it keeps going.
It's tongue. What do we expect?
Oh man, I'm connected to my mobile. Damn, leave me the fuck alone.
So am I. I'm not lagging.
I dropped my phone.
But no, you can see initially, as soon as Hamilton defends that inside line and he's starting to go over, that's when I had to re-watch it again because of my initial reaction of this is dumb. Is he wanted to shove Albon wide, but Albon had so much more grip on his soft tyres that he was well ahead. But because Hamilton committed to wanting to shove him wide, he couldn't do anything else anymore because he was in that situation. So it was...
Next week, Hamilton and Albon, part 3. So this is fist fighting.
No, it just so happens why people are more annoyed is it happens to be him and Albon again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Massa and Hamilton, isn't it?
For a podium yet again. If it wasn't for a podium, I don't think there'd be as much.
No,
wouldn't be as much ice park.
I mean, I think, we know that they can actually race fairly because, I mean, lap 1 they were fine, and Hamilton and Albon had a little bit of a scrap before Hamilton cleared him and buggered off into the distance. But at the heat of the moment, I think it was a misjudgment. It's a clear misjudgment from Lewis. He expected Albon not to have as much pace in the corner.
I don't know if this would be true or not. But I think because of what happened last time, Hamilton might have got like a little flustered. Because like, oh, where's he? What is he going to do this time? Type thing.
Potentially, yeah.
Because it's his second time racing him.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any apology from Hamilton in the interviews.
No,
they were conducted separately though, because Albon said, "I'm going to cool off and speak to him," and then it instantly transitioned to Lewis. So I believe they were conducted at the exact same time, but.
But Albon retired anyway.
Yeah, he had some sort of power unit issue, which was fascinating to see.
So would you rather him retire at the end after being hit by Hamilton, or would you rather him be in the lead and retire?
I mean, at the end of the, I'd rather him be in the lead and retire because then there's less controversy about it. You blame the Red Bull team and you go, something needs to happen with Red Bull's reliability, but then you look at it and you think, I know Albon retired and he was already last anyway. But it's like, yeah, he wouldn't have been last if Hamilton didn't hit him. That's the
Albon didn't
idea
look
of
too
it.
happy in the harder tyres. I'll be honest. He
Nah.
just looked to struggle a bit on the hards.
He wasn't too bad on them, but
But it's once he had the tyre advantage and the pace advantage, he looked really racy. Like, he can race, he just isn't as fast
he
as
is quick.
Verstappen. Because
No.
Verstappen was doing quite well in the mediums until he had his problem.
It's just
And
like,
then,
at times, like over one lap pace, I think Albon can be just as quick as Verstappen.
yeah, we've seen
Like,
that
he showed
Suzuka
that.
last year.
We saw that in Japan. Yeah, I was going to say Japan
Yeah, he
last year. They
showed
set
that
the
in
exact
Japan.
same time.
And he was up for a podium. Mexico, well, if the strategy worked out for him, he could have got a good podium along with Leclerc. He would have been battling.
I don't know.
Sure.
He didn't exactly.
Because
have the
people who went for
pace.
2 stops kind of went off.
Yeah, I think Albon still has a lot to improve on. As you were saying, the only
Oh,
way
yeah.
that Albon's really got himself in a podium fight is when things have been crazy and he's, closed up via safety car. In terms of outright pace, he's not there. Like, he was over
Look, I
12
don't-
seconds off for the Mercedes. He was half a second, I think, off pole off his
I
teammate.
think
Sorry,
that's
it's
just Mercedes' pace in general, though.
Yeah, I was
Being on.
I was correct in that. It wasn't not off a pole, but in terms of his pace between him and Verstappen, he's way better than Gasly is in a Red Bull.
Yeah.
But he's still got a long way
It's
to
just
go.
like
I think we can all agree on
Gasly's a
something.
very quick driver, but it's
Yeah.
just that
Just
he
has to be in
can't
the right car.
handle that Red Bull.
Yeah, it's built for Max. Like, Albon isn't a Verstappen or a Hamilton. He's not someone that we were looking forward to through the ranks over the years. He was very unexpected coming into 2019. We didn't think he'd turn up in the Toro Rosso. We thought someone else would replace, like Dan Ticktum or something. But then, like, Albon is only in his 22nd. This is his 22nd race. It's an unknown season. He hasn't been in the car for so long. Meanwhile, the other people have been, they've been in here for years. Like, not Norris and Russell. Like, they had a bit less pressure, but like Albon's got a lot of pressure on him trying to be in a top 3 team, trying to fight for wins and podiums and all the rest.
He's in a much more
So I
stricter
think
team.
Which?
If something goes wrong for Albon, then the pressure's on and he'll get dropped. If someone like Norris in a McLaren, he started in a McLaren, he's always been in there and he's embedded himself in that team, whereas Albon has half a season in Toro Rosso, then gets pressure on him to go into Red Bull, and all of a sudden he's taken on Verstappen in his first season. It's not going to be easy. But
I think he
And
handled it quite well,
deal
though.
with that pressure. to be
Yeah.
honest.
He handled it quite well. He outscored Verstappen the last 6 races, despite Verstappen having issues and all the rest, but he still managed to keep his head, finish consistently over Verstappen. He also managed to do well in qualifying, like Japan and places. We mentioned that. Like,
Yeah.
not everywhere, but there are sparks where you can see he's really good. He just needs to be consistent.
Yeah, pretty much. He just needs to... At some point, his pace will get close, maybe level with Max. It depends on his overall talent. But he's got a little bit to go, but it's promising signs for him. I know, obviously, it doesn't result in anything because he DNF'd again. Sorry, Lewis. But... yeah, I think I think he probably would have won it today if he didn't. Obviously, reliability cost him. But as Christian said, it depends. Maybe did something go wrong when he went in the gravel and spun around and took a bit of a bump? Who knows?
I think he
Possible.
might have damaged the floor, and then maybe if you crack that, then
Yeah.
It was
Shit
quite.
could go.
It wasn't as big as a hit because
it wasn't.
It wasn't
was
that
just
fast
a
speed.
little
That was
tap.
Yeah.
coming out of the corner, but a little tap because the cars are so light they can spin off no problem.
Yeah.
Thing to take away is like Albon was taking his line. Hamilton had the opportunity to avoid that incident, but he just didn't react right in the moment. Like I mean, like, I've seen these incidents. I've been part of like similar incidents, and it's just down to driver error in the end.
You've
It's
been in
not
a
too.
car.
I've been,
Yeah, there's still similar incidents.
I agree. It was a driver error because he misjudged the overall performance of those tyres. Like I said, I still personally believe his intentions was to force Albon wide, but Albon was so quick on those tyres that as he
Yeah.
was trying to force him wide, it's like, crap, I can't do anything now. I'm already understeering, or I've already put the throttle appliance on that I needed to. I'm gonna hit him. Like, there's nothing else I can do because it's split
But
second
it's only
reaction.
split seconds
Exactly
as
what
well.
I
You
mean.
have to remember that.
So, there was an investigation for Perez and Norris unsafe release. Did you think that should have stayed as it was? I
No,
think
it wasn't that dramatic.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
wasn't that dramatic.
the only-
Perez already got a penalty for speed in the pit lane.
The only
No, that
complaint,
was after.
the only complaint that I saw, which was something that I wanted to bring up, is if there was a pit stop happening in front of wherever Perez's box was, because when he went on the right hand side, would that then deem it as dangerous then, or?
That's some of them we're talking about. There was someone that was doing
in the garage.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because obviously Alpha weren't pitting at the time.
So, yeah, and they're too wide down there. That's left Alpha very little room, because one of them was stood like right on the corner of the box.
Yeah. I was just thinking, if there was a pit stop being conducted there, would that then have made it unsafe if Perez
taken out one of the
Yeah,
cars.
definitely would have made it unsafe.
If Perez didn't react in the right way, if he didn't brake, he could have hit one of the Alphas, and that would have been his race over.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he switched to mediums now. They lasted quite long.
I actually think soft medium was the way to go in how the race unfolded. They did, 30 laps on the soft tyres. So they only had 41 laps left to go on mediums. There's only 11 more on a fresh tyre that's done no laps at all. It's slightly harder. I think they could have done soft medium the whole race.
But probably will
I think a lot of teams. Mercedes could have done that as well, because you know they had the issues. They weren't taking as much life out of the tires.
No.
But I mean, it's all for next week to see if they can solve those problems. If we can find out what happened to Verstappen, because he went. I saw the onboard. He just pressed the button, and then as soon as he went into the braking zone, car just stalled. Like fair play, he managed to bump start it, but like it was just unfortunate. He had that win. I think he had a good bent pace.
Well, Max said that he didn't. That he said that he had no chance of winning, and it was just an easy podium, which I thought was quite interesting for him to say that. That he felt that Valtteri was going to be way quicker, and he was doing his own race. But the thing is,
he was calling the bluff.
Well, if you're talking about his own race, if he was going to do medium hard, obviously the only thing he would have been able to do was stayed out a lot longer. But then he probably would have lost more time because of the undercut. I don't know.
I think Red Bull would have found a lot of pace. Like, if there is safety cars, they would have kept Verstappen out on the mediums, do your 50 laps, and then come in for a set of softs. I think Verstappen, or they all have this data and the lap times. I think they could have realised that Verstappen could have stayed out for a lot longer, and then pitted him onto softs, because the cars were lighter and would have lasted a lot longer.
I thought Red Bull were weaker than I thought,
Yeah, Red Bull. No, I think that was just because we didn't see much of Verstappen. I thought Verstappen was doing well on the mediums.
Well,
you've got to take into account they're on two different sets of tyres.
Yeah, two different strategies. But like Albon just wasn't keeping pace with Verstappen or any of them.
No,
that's kind of the thing.
It was a three-horse race until Verstappen retired.
So to quickly go back to the pit lane incident, was it if he had clipped a mechanic or had made contact with Norris, it would have been a penalty?
Yeah.
And then I think the speeding penalty was for that incident.
Could well have been, actually, yeah, because he was trying to race Norris out.
Yeah.
No, because why would he turn the pit limiter off?
Well, no, you can still speed in the pit lane.
You don't have to. You can still, you can go above the pit limiter with it active. I get you're not meant to in that, but it's been done before. I think Vettel done it in like his first race.
Yeah, it's like even if you put your foot flat to the floor, it's like you can still go over the limiter, but it means that you won't be, going instant full throttle. It's just there to limit the car.
Normally, you'd get like a 10-second penalty for it. So, like, I think it wasn't much over, so that's why they gave him the 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been leaning on penalties though for stuff like that. I think because the safety car was out and the pack was bunched up, they thought 5 seconds would drop him enough. Like, Lewis, for example, dropped him down to P4. Perez, I think, dropped even further. His tyres went off anyway because they didn't stop.
Perez finished in 6th and stayed in 6th.
Oh, did he? Oh, fair enough.
I think
change him.
I don't know whether they didn't pit Perez because he had a scare with Norris there. He turned into Norris. I thought Norris's wing went.
I thought that was a bit rude from Perez, but then
that was a bit rough, yeah.
Depends if he expected him to go for it, because Norris isn't really someone that goes
Norris
for those
was alongside him though. Norris was about alongside him at least halfway, and Perez was keeping his eye into the corner. You should have seen, McLaren was there on the apex before he hit it, or hit him. And then, Norris came out on top anyways, which was kind of satisfying. But I think Perez knew he was kind of on the back foot with the old tyres. Despite that, he lasted very well.
I want to give a shout out to Pierre Gasly, who finished P7 in an AlphaTauri that I thought
he was very quiet, very quiet race.
Giovinazzi got P9.
In the end.
Kvyat,
he retired, didn't he?
Kvyat retired with the tyre blowout. Giovinazzi in the Alpha got P9. So that Alfa Romeo actually got points. Shock.
P10 Vettel, P11 Latifi. Who got P8 then?
P8 got Ocon got 8th place.
Ocon kept his head now.
That's actually really
that was
well
good
for him, considering he's not raced in like a 586 days.
It was a little bit.
You can't really compare it to Ricciardo because he retired. But like, I think he had a good race. He kept his head down. He kept quiet now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else was there?
Carlos Sainz got some TV.
Yeah, he did actually. He got a bit more TV than I thought.
I don't know what someone was saying. Like, oh, they're showing Carlos Sainz, mate. 8 laps in a row. You see Sainz, Norris, and Leclerc going for it.
I was just there like, I want to see the Mercedes cars. It's half a second for a fight for the lead, please.
Yeah, exactly. And then they show Mercedes cars when everybody else is battling.
I know.
They're getting there. They're just baby steps, you know?
Yeah, just taking it easy on there. So pretty much all the drivers by the looks of it, look, I've got the race classification on here. They pretty much all did 2 stops, bar the extra few that did 3 stops, obviously, to get a fresh set of tyres on.
Yeah.
Obviously, Perez was behind Albon, so he could have easily stopped again and didn't. So Racing Point made an error on that front, and I don't know because Mercedes were literally right on the back of the safety car. I wonder if they were too far away to even think of pitting. Oh no, actually no, they couldn't. They did. They stayed out.
They stayed out.
Oh no, because the safety car.
Unless they were too scared, because they had a gearbox issue. They might have been scared to try and launch the cars from the pit box in case the gearbox went.
Oh no, they stayed out though because the safety car they were literally following the safety car at that point and Perez was right behind them. I wonder if they missed the pit entry and weren't able to stop.
But I mean, the first go, they could have easily pitted for softs on lap 50.
But then
made it to the end. Yeah,
that first one, but that's what I'm saying is I think they actually they were past the pit lane when it happened because...
No. They were behind.
Really?
It would have been a late call, but like still they could have had a backup. Like Mercedes should have had a plan there if the gap is so and so and the safety car comes out box and we'll box this. But I don't think they wanted to give anybody like Lewis or Valtteri any kind of benefit over each other. Yeah. Because if Valtteri had fresh tyres and Lewis didn't, Lewis would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man?
And of course then, it's obviously not going to show us the Drivers' Championship yet because, it's very, very early. It might actually show us on the F1 website, but obviously...
We just say Norris P3 in fastest lap. That last lap, Sector 2 fastest. When you see that on your screen, that was just...
I did not expect that at all.
Did we expect Norris to really be in a proper podium position?
No.
Did we really? It was kind of more of a hopeful wish rather than a proper prediction. Like, hang on, let me just check my F1 fantasy. I might have a bit of points, boys.
I didn't bother with that.
Oh, I don't. I got bloody Lance Stroll in there.
I got Verstappen in there. Oh no, I spent so much on Verstappen. Fuck.
I think I do have Mercedes in mine as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah,
I think I have Norris in mine actually.
The Drivers' Championship obviously is what it is. In terms of the constructors then, so Mercedes are top with 37 points. McLaren are second with 26. Ferrari third with 19. Racing Point with 8. AlphaTauri with 6. Renault with 4. Alfa Romeo with 2. And Williams have none. Same with Red Bull. For some reason it only says 19.
Pretty sure if we've 2 more races like that, McLaren would have scored more than in the whole of 2017.
Probably,
yeah.
Oh, minus 24 points for Russell. Bro, 41 points for Leclerc, actually. Leclerc did.
Russell's my turbo driver.
He is mine as well. Fuck.
Mine was Stroll.
No, he's not.
I've got another team.
I didn't even set up a fantasy, so I'm not bothered about that.
Yeah, it's all just fence.
44 points.
No, big 22 points.
Driver in Team 1.
Oh, fuck yeah.
To round it off,
102 points.
To round it off, then, we've got next week's race, which is the same, the Steinmark or whatever.
Are we doing this every
week? I don't know.
No, it is the Styrian.
Styrian.
Thanks.
Well, that's in English. Steiermark Grand Prix.
The Steiermark Grand Prix.
Steiermark Grand Prix.
Boys, this is not a good result.
I'm not going to be racist.
So, Team 3, 83 points. Team 1, 102 points. Team 2, 126 points.
I don't like you.
Fair point.
I don't like you. Really don't like you. Just go away.
I had Raikkonen and Stroll was my turbo driver.
Stroll was my turbo driver.
Actually, can we just talk about our emotions on the last 2 laps of the Grand Prix with Norris 6.3 seconds outside of getting a podium. He just about got past Perez, and he made up 1.3 seconds in 2 laps.
It wasn't
He had tire advantage and all that.
It was 5.5 maximum all the way.
No. It was like 2.5 laps to go. He was like 6.3 ahead in the thing.
No, he was 5.7 because I remember putting in the Discord. He needs to gain 7/10 this lap.
Yeah,
sure?
so if it's 5.7, yeah, it was 5.7, and then in 2 laps he dropped that down to 4.8. So he gained he basically gained half a second a lap, and obviously set fastest lap. They obviously just gave him absolutely everything to just go for it, and it worked.
That was
I
brilliant,
literally
though.
threw in.
Because it was kind of like the start of the lap, he was like 5.3 seconds. We're just like, he has to make up 3 3 and a bit, and he's in it, and then fastest lap, and just the screams. I just shouted out so loud. It was like that's how F1 makes a comeback.
I have to scroll up so far just to find my opinion.
I saw purple Norris set to. I was like, oh my god, he's actually gonna do it.
He's actually
gonna steal it.
Quote it.
I need it.
I had some doubt.
Everything I said. This is what I said in real life as well.
He didn't do it. What do you mean he didn't do it?
The graphic was stuck at 5.2.
Ah.
Yeah, I heard Crofty shout out. I was like, did he do it? Did he actually do it? And then Crofty shouted out, and I was like, yeah, get in there, milk boy. Doesn't even drink milk. What's the fucking point?
Yeah.
So then,
He probably does drink milk.
next week's Grand Prix, preview that.
Woo!
Can we have the same again,
What's going
please?
to happen then?
Are we allowed,
Just give us like maybe a different order, some here and some there, but like same kind of action. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think that's all I can. I think it's what we can preview for next week. Is we'll have the same again, please. Thank you very much.
Pretty
All
much,
we
yeah.
can say is a lovely old Austrian.
Except
F1
except
2020 coming out on Tuesday.
we got F1 2020 coming out Tuesday. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be great.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, for Ewan's case, he obviously wants Stroll to finish. In my case, I'd rather it was Hamilton's Mercedes on winning.
It's a podium for Stroll next week.
He won't get a
Mark my
podium.
words.
All right, fine. We'll mark
No, he
it.
won't.
We'll mark
If
it.
Stroll, all right, I'm gonna predict
mark my words.
Verstappen wins. You know,
So
I
run us
think
through your top
Verstappen.
5, boys.
I don't
Run us
think
through your top
Verstappen
5.
will win.
I think
Unless Mercedes issues
Verstappen
continue.
will win.
I'm saying Hamilton will
I
bounce
think
back and win.
Yeah, Hamilton
I
definitely
don't-
has a good boat pace.
All right, boys.
It depends on whether he
Albon
has actually
podium,
learned.
okay? Albon podium.
Run us through
I'll
your
say that
top
at least.
5.
I
Let's
don't
throw
think
him at the
Albon's
top of
getting
it next.
podium, no offense.
Top 5. Right. After what I saw today, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Albon, maybe Leclerc. Because Leclerc a good race pace.
Yeah.
He made up a lot of places.
I think we don't know
So-
because we don't know how long Stroll had engine problems for. That's the problem.
He had.
I mean,
he had
the
him for a
racing
good
points were
5
smoking all weekend.
That was just
They were smoking all weekend.
that was excess oil. They're just getting into the exhaust and just blowing out.
That's just
not
the
that.
Yeah,
thing with the
the-
Mercedes engines, because Hamilton's was at it as well.
So it could be Mercedes are on the back foot with reliability because they had two
Yes.
two retirements today as well.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they're going to fix the issues by next weekend
It's not
either.
just the engine,
depends. Yeah,
gearboxes. Because James seemed pretty,
William.
pretty scared.
Yeah, he was terrified. But they were saying
But
obviously.
even
as
so,
well,
Albon wasn't able to catch up. Albon was still cruising an 11-second gap, maybe close at a tenth a lap.
they,
but
they were
nothing
they were just
major.
sort of matched each other at that point. They weren't really. That's when obviously when Mercedes turned everything down and were avoiding all the curbs, they were pretty much just matching at that point. Mercedes still had them
You
covered.
can see the gap definitely opened up. Lewis opened the gap to about 2 seconds to Bottas,
Yeah, they were.
which I thought was kind of
They were genuinely cruising. But
Bye.
see you later. I think that pretty much that rounds off the F1 debate then for round 1 of the Austrian Grand Prix with that bye-bye in the
No
background.
hostility.
Stop your
hostility. Would you believe it?
Stop your
Apart
outro.
from maybe a Vettel.
Mate,
I'm
with
going
us
to
two
give
in
my
here, I'm
prediction.
surprised there's no hostility.
Stop my
I'm
outro,
surprised
okay.
enough.
Okay, what?
Bottas is going to win from Hamilton and Verstappen.
Okay.
Albon,
Nice.
Perez, and Stroll, and that's going to be your top 6.
Okay
Nah,
then.
I'm calling my top 6.
Okay.
Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Stroll, Albon, Leclerc.
All
I
right.
don't have an opinion, so I don't really care.
I'll go with Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, Albon, Leclerc, Sainz.
Ah,
Where's Vettel going to finish, boys?
I
He's
think
doing-
Vettel,
he's doing
I don't
goals
think
too early.
Vettel's.
I think
I think Vettel's not going to get very far again this week next weekend.
He seems to be struggling a bit.
I think he'll get just about in the points.
I think he'll get 8th or
7th.
9th.
Yeah. I would say 9th or 10th for him.
Right, well, there we go then. Hope you guys have enjoyed the first episode of the F1 debate. If you want to get involved in these F1 debates, well, you just need to be a part of the Discord and don't be hostile and annoying, because surprisingly, we actually were quite PG with this. We actually did quite well.
I think we deserve credit.
We need a round of applause
You
for
know
all
me
of
and
that.
Tom.
We need
Fuck
a...
off.
Okay, no, it's gone now. It's all disappeared. That's
You're
done.
like that person
broke
that
the
laughs
chain.
at the end
Of
a
course it's
plane
Tom to
landing.
ruin it. Let's clear that up now.
It's always him to
Ew,
ruin it.
hidden tongue.
At least
Obviously,
he was a racist.
if you go... That's
camel
true.
tongue.
That's true.
I can change that.
Shut up. I'll be doing plenty more of these videos, not necessarily with Discord joining in. Obviously, that'll be for every single race, but I'll be obviously reviewing the likes of qualifying, maybe talking about practice and stuff like that as well. If you guys enjoyed this, drop it a like and subscribe if you're new around here as well. Thank you very much to Zombie, you and Atong that all came along to talk about it. If they didn't come along, it doesn't really matter because I just would have spoken about it myself, so who really cares?
We were debating it anyway.
We brought quality to your video.
We brought quality and comedy.
I'll put a
fuck
poll. I'll
you,
put a
boys.
poll on the
I'm
YouTube
straight.
video.
I'm not taking this.
And if they brought quality,
fair.
you can vote yes. If they didn't bring any quality, you can vote no. And we'll see if you
Other
want to
people
bully them or
vote
not.
no.
YouTube removed
If you
the
say
poll,
no, I
so
will
it's a
cry.
rig.
Can't remember it has to be
I
on the
will,
community
I,
tab.
will, I will be the one that votes. They can vote and see if you brought that extra juicy quality to it.
Go on, boys. Come on, boys and girls. Don't let me down.
You and I don't know if I want to like and subscribe. What do you think?
I don't know. It depends on. What they like.
No, he's trying to throw us. He's kind of throwing us under the bus here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to like and
To
subscribe.
be
Now.
fair,
Tom,
I said like 12 words in this entire thing. I'm just saying that now.
no,
You've had plenty more. Don't worry.
Because
on
I'm
that-
superior.
On that note,
just like no subscribe.
Hashtag Team Canada. Let's not forget that.
nah,
Team Canada,
Koreans,
yeah.
mate. Nah,
Team
it's the
Canada,
Koreans.
No,
The
no.
Koreans.
Oh,
The
all going to
Koreans.
be settled in F1 2020.
Canada.
F1
Okay?
2020, we are settling Canada versus North Korea, and you are going to get
And you've already
battered.
lost.
I disagree. Wait,
have a
no
better
racing.
following.
That's unfair.
Sorry, I
You
can't
have
hear
an
you all the way
unfair
down there. I'm P last.
Shush.
advantage.
I'll have you.
P last.
You're in... Okay, Sebastian,
You're
you're in
in
Be
last.
last for Sebastian. Right,
last.
we're getting off topic. We'll see you for the next F1 debate video where we'll be reviewing qualifying, or maybe practice. I don't know yet. Take care all. Peace!